Lance, directed by Marina Zenovich. Lance is a documentary about the sport of cycling and its most polarizing star, Lance Armstrong.
Everybody in the world needs to get this question. What is the worst thing you've ever done?
If you believe in miracles, you believe in fairy tales, then you believe in Lance Armstrong.
The talk is that this is Lance Armstrong's effort to resurrect his reputation.
He's very good at making sure he's one step removed from true responsibility of his actions.
I'm going to be naturally skeptical of whatever Lance does or says.
The cynics and the skeptics, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry you can't dream big, and I'm sorry you don't believe in miracles.
All the praise that we put upon him was all well-deserved. Winning 7 Tour de France is not easy. That's extremely difficult to do.
The French media began taking shots at Armstrong last week. It escalated over the past 2 days, accusing him of taking performance-enhancing drugs.
I can never be honest about this because all of this goodness will come crashing down.
I did tell Lance to just come out and say it. I mean, this is real now.
I needed a nuclear meltdown, and I got it.
I have enjoyed a few of Zenovich's documentaries in the past. Roman Polanski, Wanted and Desired, Richard Pryor, Amidst the Logic, and her last documentary, Robin Williams, Come Inside My Mind. But this one is film, Lance, is easily her best film yet. It's riveting from start to finish, and it will get a whole wide range of emotions from you. The documentary Lance tells 2 different stories, but in very similar ways. The first story is about the sport of cycling, the history of cycling, and how performance enhancement has always been a part of the sport, whether it be through drugs or through modifying the bike, modifying the uniforms. And the second story overlaid during the documentary is about its biggest star, Lance Armstrong. The documentary Lance starts from the beginning of Lance's life, from when he was a child, when he started participating in sports and cycling, and the film is a yearly timeline of his life. Even though we know how this story ends, it's thrilling to see. It's thrilling to come up closer and closer to events in his life and events in the controversial history of cycling. The documentary attempts to humanize Lance Armstrong and the other cyclists, and for the most part it succeeds. Everybody who is interviewed in the film is very candid and very open with, about why they did what they did and how they did what they did. It's actually Lance who comes off the most elusive. He doesn't dodge any questions, he's always honest, but you always get a feeling that he's not always 100% truthful. I have no interest at all in the sport of cycling, but what makes this film so interesting is it's about people who have done such bad things, and you get to see the aftermath of that. You get to see how they lived, how they managed to wake up every day, how they managed to live their life after they've been so publicly judged by the media and by the general public. Lance Armstrong thinks his story is relevant, and he wants to be relevant, but I don't think he is. It's that portrait of a man who has such an ego, still has such an ego, and has been such publicly demoralized that that's what makes this film so interesting. And it's also the other part of if someone does many good things in their life, and they also do many bad things in life, does that erase all of the good things they have done? I usually try to judge a film for what it is and not for what it isn't. But in this case, if I have to nitpick a little bit, if I just have to nitpick a little bit, I wish this film had focused more on his current life now, because that situation of a man who's been who's experienced the lowest of the lows, how do they manage to pick themselves back up and live their life every day? I wish we had seen a bit more of that. I give Lance 4.5 stars. It's almost 4 hours long, but it's always riveting. The timeline approach to the story means it's telling a full story. It will leave you with many questions and emotions. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of my reviews. See you next time.